This stays between us, Nathan. Victoria Hale's voice cracked on my name, barely audible over the muffled bass thumping through the bathroom door. Her hands trembled against my chest, mascara tracking dark lines down cheeks that were always so perfectly composed in board meetings. The citrus scent of her perfume mixed with something sharper. Fear, maybe, or desperation. I could feel the cold metal door pressed against my back, could hear my own heart hammering as she struggled to breathe. This wasn't supposed to happen. None of this was supposed to happen. My phone buzzed again in my pocket, the third time in 5 minutes, Emma's special ringtone. Mrs. Chen wouldn't call unless it was urgent, and urgent meant my 6-year-old daughter was asking for me, probably crying, probably convinced I wasn't coming back. The guilt hit like it always did, sharp and immediate, right below my ribs. But Victoria was falling apart in front of me, and somehow that mattered just as much. To understand how I ended up locked in an executive bathroom with my terrifying boss having a breakdown, you need to know how broken I already was. 2 years ago, police knocked on my door during a rainstorm. "Mr. Pierce, there's been an accident." 6 words that ended everything. Julie's car had hydroplaned on the interstate. The semi-driver never had a chance to stop. Our daughter Emma was 4 years old, and suddenly I had to explain why Mama wasn't coming home, using words I barely understood myself. The funeral was a blur of casseroles and condolences. Emma clung to my leg the entire time, silent and confused. My parents, retired in Arizona and managing their own health issues, offered to take her. "You can't do this alone, Nathan. Raising a little girl working full-time, you'll drown." I told them no. Emma was all I had left of Julie. I'd figure it out. I didn't figure it out. The first year was survival mode. Emma had nightmares 3, sometimes 4 times a week. She'd wake up screaming, asking questions I couldn't answer. Where did Mama go? Why can't she come back? Did I do something bad? I'd hold her until the shaking stopped, then lie awake the rest of the night, staring at the ceiling and wondering if I was destroying her by keeping her with me. Babysitters became my nightmare. 3 quit in 6 months. Emma had what the pediatrician gently called attachment issues. She'd panic when I left, convinced every goodbye was permanent. Finally, I found Mrs. Chen, a firm but kind woman in her 60s who'd raised 4
of her own. She understood trauma. She also understood her boundaries. 6:30 every evening, not a minute later. She had a husband waiting dinner. Work started suffering almost immediately. I was late to meetings, distracted during presentations, taking calls in the stairwell to calm Emma down before nap time. Family emergency became my reputation. My performance reviews went from exceptional to concerning. I'd catch my manager's pitying looks across the conference table and want to disappear. Emma's kindergarten teacher called me in September. "Mr. Pierce, Emma seems tired all the time. She has trouble focusing. Is everything okay at home?" I wanted to laugh. Nothing was okay. Our apartment looked like a toy explosion. Laundry formed a mountain on the couch. We ate dinosaur chicken nuggets 4 nights a week because I was too exhausted to cook real meals. I was failing as a father and as a professional, spectacular at neither. Then Victoria Hale arrived. She joined as VP of Operations last February, brought in to restructure and improve efficiency. The rumors started immediately. She fired 6 people in the first month, works until 10 every night. I've never seen her smile. Team meetings became tense affairs. Victoria asked sharp questions and tolerated 0 excuses. Her green eyes would pin you in place while she dissected your logic, polite but merciless. I was terrified she'd notice me, specifically how much I was struggling. Single dad whose work suffered, who left early for school pickups, who looked half dead most mornings. I was exactly the kind of dead weight she'd been hired to eliminate, but something didn't add up. 8 months after she arrived, I noticed small inconsistencies. Once, she moved my 9 a.m. presentation to 10 without explanation. I found out later Emma had thrown up that morning. I'd mentioned it to nobody, just blocked off the pediatrician in my calendar. How did Victoria know? Another time, she asked casually while reviewing my quarterly report, "Your daughter must be in school now. That must help with scheduling." Her tone was neutral, but the question lingered. Late one evening, leaving the office around 8, I passed her door. It was cracked open. Victoria sat alone at her desk, staring at a framed photograph I couldn't quite see. Her expression was something I'd never witnessed in meetings. Soft, sad, deeply human. She looked up, caught me watching. The mask slammed back instantly. "Good night, Pierce." I mumbled something and hurried away.
3 days before the holiday party, she called me into her office. My stomach dropped. This was it. The termination conversation. I'd prepared speeches for Emma. "Daddy's gonna find a new job. It'll be an adventure." Victoria gestured to the chair across from her. Your third quarter analysis was exceptional. Under the circumstances, quite impressive. I blinked. Thank you? She hesitated, fingers drumming once against her desk. She almost said something, stopped. Then, the holiday party is Friday. You should attend. Networking is important for career development. I hadn't been to a single company event since Julie died. The thought of small talk and forced cheer made me want to hide, but this felt less like suggestion and more like instruction. I'll try to make it, I managed. Her eyes held mine a moment too long. Good. The day of the party, I confirmed with Mrs. Chen she could stay until 9. It meant paying her double rate, but I needed this. Emma's anxiety spiked immediately. You're leaving? Where are you going? Just to a work thing, sweetheart. I'll be back before bedtime. Promise? Her gray-blue eyes, so much like mine, filled with fear. I knelt down, taking her small hands. I promise. I always come back, don't I? Mama didn't. The words punched the air from my lungs. I pulled her close. I know, baby, but I will. Always. I arrived at the party late, 7:45, uncomfortable in a suit I hadn't worn in months. The hotel ballroom glittered with lights and holiday decorations. Executives clustered in expensive groups. I grabbed sparkling water from the bar, designated driver mentality now permanent, and tried to blend into the walls. Then I saw Victoria. She stood across the room in a dark emerald dress that made her auburn hair look like fire. She was laughing at something a board member said, perfectly polished and controlled. I'd never seen her outside the office. She looked different, radiant, untouchable. I felt completely out of place. My coworker Tom found me by the appetizer table. Piers, didn't think you'd show. How's your little girl? We made awkward small talk. I watched the clock. 8:15, 8:30. I needed to leave by 8:45 to be home by 9:15, within acceptable broken promise range. Then I noticed something wrong. Victoria was cornered near the windows by a tall man in an expensive suit. Her smile was frozen, artificial. His hand rested on her lower back, possessive. Her body language screamed discomfort, but her face—
Victoria's face remained professionally pleasant. His grip tightened on her arm. She tried to step back. He leaned closer, speaking low. I couldn't hear the words, but I could read his lips. Embarrassing me. Victoria's eyes scanned the room desperately and locked onto mine for half a second. Every protective instinct I had developed as Emma's father overrode my fear. I walked over, heart pounding. Victoria, sorry to interrupt. Urgent call from the Seattle office about the merger documents. Complete lie, but I delivered it confidently. The man's smile went cold. We're having a private conversation. Victoria seized the escape. The merger can't wait. Excuse us, Derek. She walked fast, heels clicking sharp against marble. I followed. She didn't stop at her office, kept going down the hallway. Outside the bathrooms, she was breathing wrong, too fast and shallow. Panic attack. I recognized it because I'd had them after Julie died. He can't see me like this, she gasped. I glanced around. The hallway was empty. I made a decision. I guided her into the single-occupancy executive bathroom and locked the door behind us. She collapsed against the sink, full panic attack taking hold. That's when she said it. This stays between us, Nathan. And that's when my phone started buzzing with Emma's ringtone, my whole world splitting in two. Victoria's hand shot out, gripping the edge of the sink as another wave hit her. But even through her panic, she saw my face when the phone buzzed. She knew what that ringtone meant. Answer it, she gasped, gesturing frantically. Go, answer. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands. Mrs. Chen's name lit the screen. Nathan, I'm so sorry to bother you, but Emma woke up screaming. She won't calm down. She's asking for you, saying you didn't come back. In the background, I heard my daughter's voice, raw with terror. Daddy didn't come back. The bathroom tilted. I had 2 emergencies, 2 people who needed me, and I was only one person. Always only one person. Never enough. Mrs. Chen, I can stay longer, but she really needs to hear your voice, the babysitter said gently. Victoria was watching me, tears streaming, but she mouthed one word. Go. I made a choice that surprised us both. Mrs. Chen, I'm putting you on speaker. I hit the button. Emma's crying filled the small bathroom, echoing off tile. Daddy. Her voice was so small, so broken. I'm here, baby. I'm right here. I'm okay, and I'm coming home soon. You promised. You said you'd come back. The accusation in her tone destroyed me. Emma, sweetheart, remember what we always say? Even when I'm not there, where am I? She sniffled, hiccuping. In my heart? That's exactly right. Always in your heart, which means I never really leave. Can you do something for me? Can you count to 100 with Mrs. Chen? By the time you finish, I'll be walking in the door. You promise for real this time? I promise for real. I love you, Emma Bear.
Love you, Daddy. Her voice was steadier now. Mrs. Chen came back on. We'll be fine, Nathan. Drive safe. I ended the call. The silence in the bathroom was deafening. Victoria had slid down to sit on the floor, back against the wall, knees pulled to her chest. Her perfect composure was completely shattered. She looked young suddenly, vulnerable in a way that made my chest ache. You should go, she whispered. Your daughter needs you. In a minute, I sat down across from her, our legs almost touching in the cramped space. Breathe with me first. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. My therapist taught me after Julie died. She followed my breathing, eyes locked on mine. Gradually, the panic receded from her face. When she could speak normally again, the first thing she said wasn't what I expected. My father raised me alone. I went still, listening. My mother left when I was 4. I don't remember her face, just the sound of the door closing. My dad worked 3 jobs to keep us afloat. Grocery store manager during the day, bookkeeping at night, weekend janitorial work. He never missed a school event, not one. He taught me that strength meant showing up, no matter how tired you were. Her voice cracked. He died when I was 25. Heart attack in the middle of his shift at the store. The doctor said his heart was worn out. He worked himself to death for me, and I became exactly what killed him. A workaholic with no life, no family, completely alone. You're not alone, I said quietly. She laughed, bitter. That man out there, Derek? We dated for 2 years, engaged for 6 months. I called it off 4 months ago because he wanted me to quit my job, be the kind of wife who hosts dinner parties and doesn't embarrass him with ambition. Tonight was the first time I've seen him since. He's on the board of directors now, took the position knowing I'm VP. It's a power play. The pieces clicked together. He was threatening you. He said I humiliated him, that I owe him for wasting his time, that he could make my professional
life very difficult. She wiped her face, smearing mascara further. I faced down hostile executives, managed corporate restructures, fired people twice my age, but I saw him tonight and I just broke. That's not weakness, I told her. That's being human. Victoria's eyes met mine, searching. I've watched you this past year, Nathan. You're drowning. Every report you submit is brilliant, but I see you falling asleep at your desk at 2 in the afternoon. I hear you in the stairwell, bribing your daughter to be brave for just a few more hours. You're not handling it. You're surviving it. I wanted to argue, but she was right. I'm the one forcing you to choose between paying rent and affording your daughter's therapy appointments, she continued. I have all this power, all this authority, and I'm using it to make your life harder. That's not your fault. It's just how jobs work. It doesn't have to be. She straightened, and I saw the executive returning, the woman who made decisions and changed systems. I'm creating a new position, remote data director. Same salary as you're making now, full benefits, work from home, flexible hours. You meet your deadlines? I don't care if you work at 3 in the morning or noon. You can be there when Emma gets off the school bus. You can make her breakfast. You can exist as both her father and a professional. I stared at her. Why would you do that for me? Because you're the best analyst I have, and I'm tired of watching talent waste away because of archaic office culture. And because... She hesitated. Someone should get to put their daughter first. My father never had that choice. You should. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it. Say you'll go home to Emma now. She stood, offering me her hand to help me up. Her fingers were cold in mine. We left the bathroom separately, professionally spaced. The party was still going, oblivious to everything that had just happened. I headed for the parking lot, mind reeling. Victoria's car was parked near mine. As I approached my sedan, I saw Derek leaning against her driver's door, waiting. His posture was predatory. Victoria, I called out. She turned, saw Derek, and froze. I made another impulsive decision. I'm heading north. Can I give you a ride? We can finish discussing the Seattle merger situation. There was no Seattle merger, but Derek didn't know that. Victoria understood immediately. Yes, thank you. That would be efficient. Derek's jaw tightened. Victoria,
We need to talk. No, we don't. Good night, Derek. She walked to my car without looking back. I unlocked it and we both got in quickly. As I pulled out of the parking spot, I saw Derek in the rearview mirror, furious. Neither of us spoke for several blocks. Finally, Victoria gave me an address downtown, a penthouse building, of course. The drive took 15 minutes. My mind was spinning with everything. Emma waiting at home, Victoria's offer, the vulnerability I'd witnessed, the way Derek had looked at her. I pulled up to her building. The doorman stood ready under the awning. "Thank you," Victoria said softly. "For earlier, for the escape, for everything." Her hand touched mine on the gear shift, just for a second. The contact sent electricity up my arm. Then she was gone, hurrying into the building like she was fleeing. I drove home in a daze. Emma was asleep when I arrived, curled around her stuffed rabbit. Mrs. Chen reported she'd calmed down after counting to 100 twice. I paid her the overtime rate plus extra and apologized profusely. After she left, I stood in Emma's doorway, watching my daughter sleep. Her face was peaceful now, no sign of the earlier terror. I'd made it home. I'd kept my promise. My phone buzzed with a text, 1 in the morning, from Victoria. "The offer stands. Let me know Monday. VH." I looked at Emma, then at the phone. Thought about dinosaur-shaped pancakes I could make if I worked from home. Thought about being there for the school bus. Thought about not having to choose anymore. I typed back, "I accept." Her response came immediately. "Good. HR will contact you Monday morning." Then, after a pause, another message. "Thank you for tonight. I mean that." I didn't know how to respond, so I just sent, "Anytime." I had no idea that single word would become a promise that changed everything. Monday morning, HR sent the paperwork. By Wednesday, equipment arrived at my apartment. Laptop, monitor, ergonomic chair. My coworker Tom texted, "Dude, how did you land that position? Everyone's talking about it." I didn't have an answer that made sense. Victoria's first email was purely professional. Clear expectations, deadline structures, weekly video check-ins. I worked from the kitchen table those first days, Emma coloring beside me during her winter break, asking questions every 5 minutes. It was chaotic, but different. Better. I could make her breakfast. Real breakfast, not grab-and-go bars. I walked her to the school bus stop and was there when
he came home. The nightmares didn't stop immediately, but her teacher called after 2 weeks. "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Emma seems much happier. 2 weeks into remote work, during a video call with Victoria, Emma photobombed. She climbed onto my lap, waving at the screen. "Hi, are you Daddy's boss?" I tried to move her, mortified, but Victoria's expression softened into something I'd never seen, a real smile. "Hello, Emma. Yes, I work with your daddy. I like your dinosaur shirt." Emma beamed. "It's a T-Rex. Daddy says you're really smart. Are you nice too?" "Emma," I started, but Victoria laughed, actually laughed. "I try to be," she told my daughter gently. After that, Emma always said hello during our calls. Victoria always responded, asking about school or complimenting whatever toy Emma showed her. The professional boundaries softened, became something warmer. 6 months disappeared in a blur of video calls, deadlines met, and slow healing. By March, HR restructured my reporting line. Victoria's idea, she explained via email, to maintain proper protocols. I now reported to Jennifer Moss, VP of Analytics. Victoria and I still collaborated, but the power dynamic shifted. We were colleagues now, not boss and employee. The company changed too. Victoria proposed a family-first initiative in June, flexible scheduling, remote options, on-site childcare. The board approved it in August, despite Derek's opposition. 4 more employees transitioned to remote work. Retention rates climbed 40%. Emma turned 7 in July. I threw her a birthday party at our apartment, invited her class. It was loud, chaotic, perfect. That evening, my phone rang. "Victoria." "How was the party?" she asked. "Loud, sticky. Emma loved it." "Good. That's good." A pause. "Nathan, I was wondering if you and Emma might want company this weekend. There's a farmer's market downtown. I thought, if it's not inappropriate." "We'd love that," I said, probably too quickly. Saturday morning, Victoria arrived in jeans and a sweater. I'd never seen her so casual. Emma hugged her legs immediately, chattering about the purple paint we'd bought for her bedroom. "You're redecorating?" Victoria asked. "Finally. Want to help?" Fair warning, Emma's painting style is enthusiastic. She stayed. We painted Emma's room together, purple everywhere, including our clothes. We ordered pizza, ate on the living room floor. Emma fell asleep between us mid-sentence. her head dropping onto Victoria's shoulder. Victoria froze.
Looking at me with wonder and terror. She doesn't usually trust people this fast, I whispered. She trusts me? Victoria's voice cracked. Yeah, she does. I carried Emma to bed, Victoria following. After I tucked Emma in, kissed her forehead, we stood in the doorway together. Victoria's eyes were wet. In the kitchen, I poured wine. We sat at the counter, knees almost touching. I lied earlier, Victoria said quietly. I wasn't just nearby. I wanted to see this. Your life with her. How you've built something beautiful from something broken. It's messy, I said. It's real. Everyone at work thinks I created that program for optics, board approval, good PR. I created it because watching you struggle was killing me, because I see my father in you, the sacrifice, the love, the exhaustion, and because somewhere between December and now, I stopped being able to stop thinking about you. My heart hammered. Victoria? I know it's complicated. I know there's Emma to consider, and professional boundaries, and I'm probably ruining everything by saying this, but I needed you to know. I set down my wine glass. After Julie died, I thought that part of me was gone forever, the part that could feel anything beyond survival and guilt. But these months, getting your texts, hearing you laugh during video calls, watching you try because of something I said, Victoria, you made me remember I'm still a person, not just Emma's father. She was crying now, silently. I kissed her, soft, tentative, terrified. She kissed back, gentle and careful, her hand coming up to cut my face. We broke apart, foreheads touching. This is insane, she whispered. I know. Emma has to come first, always. Always, I agreed. Then we go slow. We see if this is real. It was real. By September, Victoria was part of our routine. Weekend farmers markets, museum trips, movie nights on our worn couch. In October, we looked at houses. Emma needed space, and my apartment held too many ghosts. We found it in early November. Small, perfect, with a backyard and room for Emma to run. Victoria helped us move, insisted we keep Julie's photos everywhere. Emma should remember her mother, and you should too. I'm not replacing anyone. I'm just joining what you've already built. December arrived faster than expected. The company holiday party again, 1 year later. This time, children were invited. Victoria's family-inclusive events policy fought through board approval over Derek's objections. Emma wore a velvet dress,
Held both her hands as we walked into the same ballroom. She was 7 now, confident and healing, though nightmares still came sometimes. Derek stood across the room. Victoria saw him and didn't flinch. I felt her hand tighten in mine, but she didn't look away from me. This stays between us, she said, smiling. My heart stopped, remembering that bathroom, that night, everything that followed. What does? That I'm completely in love with you. That you and Emma are the family I thought I'd never have. That I'm terrified and grateful in equal measure. I pulled her close, Emma between us, and kissed her softly. Emma made an exaggerated gagging sound. We laughed. Tom approached, grinning. Pierce, family looks good on you, man. Emma piped up. We are a family, right, Daddy? Right, Vic? Victoria knelt down to Emma's level. Yeah, sweetheart, we are. Later, after Emma fell asleep in the car on the way home, after we carried her inside and tucked her in, Victoria and I stood in the kitchen of our new house. She had a toothbrush here now, clothes in the closet. Her name would be on the lease renewal in January. A year ago, I was drowning, I said. I thought happiness died with Julie, that I'd spend forever just surviving. And now, Victoria asked, stepping into my arms. Now I know that endings and beginnings aren't always separate things. Sometimes they're the same moment, and you don't recognize it until later. She kissed me. Your daughter is asleep. The house is quiet. We have tomorrow off. What do you want to do? This, I said. Just this. Being here with you.
being a family. We went upstairs, checked on Emma one more time. She was sprawled across her purple bed, stuffed rabbit clutched tight, peaceful. We stood in the doorway together, Victoria's hand in mine. Family isn't what you lose, it's what you build. Again and again. From broken pieces and second chances. From bathroom breakdowns and remote work proposals. From a little girl's innocent trust. And a woman brave enough to jump in when she saw someone drowning. The best things aren't planned. They're found in moments of crisis. When someone says, "This stays between us," and means, "Let me help carry this." They're found when you're brave enough to say yes. If this story touched you, if you believe in second chances and unconventional families, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories about single dads, fierce women, and the families we choose. Because everyone deserves a second chapter. Thanks for listening to ours.